Sawadee I'm JP Mestanza, and today is Tuesday, October 12th. Welcome to Phuket Extra, brought to you by pbcphuket.com. Starting this coming Saturday, October 16th, fully vaccinated domestic arrivals coming onto the island will not be required to prove that they've tested negative for COVID-19. The Phuket governor announced the measure on Monday. People who will be allowed to enter Phuket without presenting evidence of testing negative for the virus comprise of people who have received 2 injections of Sinovac or 2 injections of Sinopharm vaccine or 1 injection of Sinovac plus 1 injection of AstraZeneca, or they've recovered from COVID-19 no more than 90 days before they arrived on Phuket. Unvaccinated adults will be required to show evidence that they tested negative for COVID-19 by RT-PCR or antigen test kit ATK method within 7 days before arriving at the checkpoint. The waiving of the COVID test requirement applies to adults only and will be in effect for anyone who arrives by air, land, or sea. Children under 6 years old are exempt and can enter no matter what as long as they're with a parent or guardian. Children between 7 to 12 years old must have proof that they've tested negative for COVID-19 through RT-PCR or ATK up to 7 days prior to arrival. Children between 12 to 18 years old must have received at least 1 dose of Pfizer vaccine at least 14 days before arriving, or have tested negative for COVID through RT-PCR or ATK up to 1 month prior to arrival. In addition, people will no longer be allowed to bring their own antigen test kits and perform the COVID tests in front of officials at the Phuket checkpoint, but the private infection detection service at the checkpoint will be allowed to continue to operate. All of this goes into effect on Saturday, October 16th, and is only for domestic tourists. Governor Narong pointed out the move takes into consideration several factors. The first is that 85% of all new COVID cases in Phuket have shown only mild signs of infection or no signs of infection at all. The second factor is that over 200,000 people on the island have received their 3rd booster vaccine injection. The third factor is that only 0.3% of domestic arrivals at the Phuket checkpoint were actually found infected. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. And from the provincial easing to the reopening of the Kingdom of Thailand, Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha announced that he will push for the country to open up to fully vaccinated foreign arrivals from at least 10 countries on November 1st, no quarantine. In a nationally televised broadcast, the Premier announced that vaccinated tourists from at least 10 low-risk countries will be allowed to enter the kingdom by air with no quarantine, including people from Germany, the US, the UK, Singapore, and China, and they pledged to allow arrivals from more countries by December 1st and January 1st, respectively. November 1st is typically considered the start of the high tourist season in Thailand, a country which heavily relies on tourism because before the pandemic, tourism accounted for about 20% of Thailand's gross domestic product. And in 2019, Thailand welcomed almost 40 million international arrivals, the most in its history. But with the global pandemic restricting air travel and different levels of restrictions across borders, Thailand's high season has taken a massive blow. This year, officials hope to open up the country in the next few months in order to draw more foreign tourists to Thailand, especially with the year-end holidays approaching. Earlier, the government had planned to reopen key tourist destinations and cities for vaccinated arrivals with no quarantine, including Chonburi, Phetchaburi, Prachuap Khiri Khan, and Chiang Mai provinces, along with Bangkok. Monday's announcement indicated that the reopening would cover all parts of the country. So far, Thailand has seen a decline in daily cases, with new daily cases hovering around 10,000 per day and fatalities now regularly dropping below 100. But although the situation is improving in most parts of Thailand, a surge of new infections continue in the southern border provinces of Pattani, Yala, Narathiwat, as well as Songkhla province, and officials are discussing whether to implement more restrictive measures in those provinces. But getting back to the reopening of Thailand, the Prime Minister did say that the government is looking at lifting many of the measures that are still in place in 29 dark red zone provinces nationwide by December 1st, saying, quote, "By December 1st, we will also consider allowing the consumption of alcoholic beverages in restaurants, as well as the operation of entertainment venues under appropriate health precautions to support the revitalization of the tourism and leisure sectors, especially the New Year period." For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Phuket officials confirmed 170 COVID-19 infections on the island on Monday night, including one sandbox tourist infection. Since April 3, Phuket has recorded 12,988 cases. During October, Phuket has seen 1,901 total cases, an average of 173 cases per day, along with 12 total deaths in Phuket. Two foreigners were rescued by Royal Thai Navy on Sunday afternoon when their sailboat partially sunk due to strong winds off Phuket's coast near Koh Lone. When naval officers arrived at the scene off Koh Lone, they discovered the sailboat was half submerged in the water and two foreign men wearing life jackets were floating in the sea. The two men were rescued by officers and taken back to shore at Koh Lone, while the sailboat was also towed back to shore. The incident urged the Royal Thai Navy to reiterate a warning that the current forecast for the Andaman Sea area is to expect strong winds that can lead to waves around 2 to 3 meters in height, with thunderstorms predicted. The height of the waves could even exceed 3 meters, according to an officer. Small boats should refrain from sailing at this time. The Thai Meteorological Department forecasts thunder showers this week until next Monday, October 18th. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. The Phuket Vegetarian Festival continues on with more events planned until about the end of the week. On Wednesday, October 13th, the street procession will begin from Katu Shrine to Phuket Town, followed by fire walking at the Bang Niao Shrine in Phuket Town, as well as the Samgong Shrine in North Phuket Town and the Cheung Talay Shrine. This Thursday, October 14th, is the last full day of the festival and will start with a morning procession at Sui Bun Tong Shrine in Phuket Town. In the afternoon, there will be fire walking at the Katu Shrine. Then, at night, it's the highly anticipated massive final procession that will take place where, in years past, millions of firecrackers and fireworks were deployed onto the streets of Phuket Town. While there is a ban on firecrackers this year, it's unclear whether it will be similar to years past in this respect. Then on Friday, October 15th at about 5 p.m., all the Goteng lantern poles will be lowered at shrines across the island to mark the official end of the Phuket Vegetarian Festival 2021. If you're at any of these events and want to send photos our way, you can do so on Twitter by tagging us at the Phuket News. To find out where these shrines are located, click the link in the description for the map. Thank you so much for joining us here today on this Tuesday, October 12th, a Phuket Extra brought to you by pvcphuket.com. We'll be off tomorrow, October 13th, as it is a public holiday. It is to commemorate the death of King Rama IX. We'll be back on Thursday. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000 and luxury properties can go all the way up to 20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.